Nye Beach in Newport, Oregon. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but this is a neighborhood, a little district right in the heart of Newport that I think does fly under the radar a little bit, especially for people who are relocating to Oregon and to the Oregon coast from out of state. So in this video, we're gonna talk about it. Stay tuned to learn more. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Clem with the Home Team Brokers coming to you from the Oregon coast. And in this video, we're going to talk about a little neighborhood in Newport called Nye Beach. Now, if you have been researching the Oregon coast, if the Central Coast, Newport, Lincoln City, these areas are towns that you're interested in, you may have started to do some digging already. You may have seen Nye Beach. We're gonna talk about it in this video and everything that Nye Beach has to offer, because it is such a cool, unique little neighborhood that is surprisingly rare for the Oregon coast. There's a lot of coastal towns and coastal communities on the Oregon coast, but there's not really that many towns, big, large, that offer, true beachfront living with shops and restaurants and things like that. A lot of, I think, what people would envision when you hear of a little beach town and beachfront town. There's a few for sure, but a lot of the towns on the Oregon coast are set on rivers, right, where the rivers come out to the Pacific Ocean. A lot of these towns, the big ones, the small ones, aren't necessarily set right on the beach and right on the ocean. And so in Newport, really the main attraction is the Yaquina Bay, the Yaquina Bayfront, where you have all these little eclectic shops and some great restaurants and some pubs, breweries, fine dining, seafood, and of course, Ripley's Believe It or Not, the Wax Museum. And then on the south side of the bay, you have the Oregon Coast Aquarium, the Marine Science Center, Rogue Brewing. This Yaquina Bay and the bridge, of course, iconic. One of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful bridge on the Oregon coast. I think this is what a lot of people think of when they think of Newport. So you just go north side of the bay, and the kind of the westernmost area in Newport, and you're going to be in Nye Beach. Now, really, Nye Beach is a district that is about 2 by 12 blocks, but the neighborhood does extend a few more blocks to the east toward the highway, and it does extend a little bit north as well toward Agate Beach. So there is some continuity if you are in Nye Beach and you go north a little bit and you're technically out of the Nye Beach district. You're going to be in an area called Agate Beach, and there is some residential development up there as well. But right in Nye Beach, there's a very distinct character to it. Now, this is a very historical area. This is an area that back in 1865 was settled by a guy, or homesteaded by somebody named John Nye, who 15 years later in 1880 sold the land to a developer, and that developer started building homes and cottages and things like that, and really tried to promote tourism. So this area really dates back to the late 19th century as kind of a tourist attraction, a tourist area, in particular from people from kind of the central Willamette Valley, coming from areas like Corvallis and Albany. There used to be a train that ran out to, I think, the east side of the Yaquina Bay, and then people would, hoof it or take their horses or whatever over to Nye Beach and stay in these little cottages. A lot of people would actually camp on the beach, and there were some designated camping areas along Nye Creek as well. So when you're going through the area, you do feel some of this rich history. And I think that's super cool because, a lot of the Oregon coast has kind of an older feel, at least, as far as much as you can get on the West Coast, right? A lot of 100+ year old homes. Now, to date, and you kind of flash forward to today, a lot of the old original cottages have been torn down and don't exist. You do get some mid-century stuff, so 1930s, 40s, 50s, and then there is some new development, some new construction going on as well. But again, keep in mind, this is a pretty tight area, as far as its footprint, so there's not an enormous housing stock necessarily, but there was a distinct style that was developed in this neighborhood. It came to be known as the Nye Beach style, and it's kind of like this Victorian beach cottage type style, and some of these structures do still stand to this day. But a lot of the area has been developed a ton over the last 100 years. There's Coast Street that goes right through the middle, and it's kind of this commercial district with shops, restaurants, galleries, bistros, pubs. I think there's an astrologer there. There's a wine shop, there's bookstores. So there's a lot to do, concentrated in this very small area. And again, Coast Street, where all the businesses are for the most part, you're a block from the beach. So it has this really cool feel, this really unique dynamic that, again, is surprisingly rare for the Oregon coast. And a lot of people moving to the Oregon coast, some people want to be up in the mountains, some people want to be a little bit removed from the ocean, either for safety reasons, or they don't want to deal with the home maintenance, or they want to be a little more secluded. But I think a lot of people really envision living in, kind of this quaint little quintessential beachfront community, and Nye Beach really offers that. That's why we're highlighting it in this video, because a lot of people hear about Newport. When you see Newport, again, you see the bay. There is quite a bit of residential development on the east side of the highway, so you're not really in that beachfront, but Nye Beach definitely offers that. Oh, and hey, by the way, if this is your first time to the channel, or if you've been to the channel and if you haven't already and you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. And we've helped so many people relocate to Oregon and move to the Oregon coast, and as real estate professionals, we love to help with that process. So if that's you, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. Either way, we would love to help with your move to the Oregon coast. So this area attracts people for a lot of different reasons. All of the kind of classic Oregon coast activities are available here, from kind of the arts and the culture, the galleries, to beachcombing, clamming, surfing, photography, flying kites, you name it. You can do all of this here. And there's a surprisingly expansive beach here at Nye Beach. So Nye Beach continues north into Agate Beach, and there's really no clear separation. So there's a really long, uninterrupted stretch of beach here, which isn't something that's necessarily rare for the Oregon coast, but you are gonna find that a lot more on the central coast and northern coast, as opposed to the southern Oregon coast that's a little bit rockier, and a little more disjointed, where, on the southern Oregon coast, you don't have as much of, these long kind of continuous stretches of beaches. So Nye Beach definitely checks that box. It's not just, kind of a small little section of beach. I mean, you go out there, you look around, it's really expansive, and definitely a popular area. Newport in and of itself is definitely a big tourist town, attracts a lot of people. It's kind of known to be the heart of the Oregon coast, or the capital city of the Oregon coast. And so it attracts a lot of people. Nye Beach is going to be kind of one of the primary access points for public beach access. But again, because the beach is so expansive there, you just walk up a little bit, you can find your own area, you can find some privacy. Or on the other hand, if you like things to be a little more bustling, if you like to kind of see people out and about and maybe be a little more social, you're gonna have opportunities for that too, more so than in other areas. Now, like I mentioned, there's really not a lot of places on the Oregon coast that offer the dynamic that Nye Beach does. So if you go down the coastline, from Astoria down to Brookings, I think the most comparable area is Cannon Beach, in my opinion, because Cannon Beach has this main street with all the shops and galleries and restaurants and things like that that people love about Oregon coast towns, and you're just a block or two from the ocean and from the beach. Now, Nye Beach is on a much smaller scale, but it's like a mini little Cannon Beach right in Newport. And that's really cool. I mean, people love Cannon Beach, but it's also one of the most expensive areas on the Oregon coast. to live and to purchase a home as far as real estate prices. And Newport overall is going to be a little more affordable. Now, Nye Beach might be a little bit more expensive than the rest of Newport because you have that beachfront dynamic. But it's not going to be like Cannon Beach, and you get a lot of the same benefits. There's other towns on the Oregon coast that have, really great little downtown areas. Florence comes to mind, Bandon comes to mind, but Bandon, Florence, the downtown areas there are set on the river. So you're removed from the beach and you're a little bit removed from the ocean. Where again, in Nye Beach, like an area like Cannon Beach, for example, maybe Rockaway Beach too to some extent, although Rockaway Beach even doesn't have as much commercial development as Nye Beach, and Rockaway Beach is much bigger, but it doesn't have as much to offer in the way of, the attractions, the shops, the galleries, all the things down the line. So again, it's really just kind of this perfect combination of a lot of what so many people are looking for when they're envisioning moving to the Oregon coast. Now, if being right on the beach isn't exactly what you want, but you want to have quick, easy accessibility to a community like this, living anywhere in Newport, you're going to be able to get there very quickly. And Newport, a town of 10,000 plus people, that's a big town for the Oregon coast. It's going to have a lot more amenities and a lot more things to do overall, and things that you would need in your day-to-day life than some of the smaller towns like a Cannon Beach, for example. There's a hospital there, there's more department stores and hardware stores, and there's just kind of more to offer in terms of, again, the things that you would need day-to-day in Newport. But if you were living in Nye Beach, you don't really feel like you're in this bigger town. It feels like this, again, quaint little quintessential beachfront community. So that's why Nye Beach is definitely an area that we want to put on people's radar. Now, right now, if you look at the active listings in the area, there's actually 12 homes for sale. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, I mean, it's right now coming out of the winter into early spring, the market's still a little bit slow. We're not seeing a lot of homes on the market. So we could see that tick up a little bit. But again, it's relatively such a small area, as far as the housing stock that it has, that there's always going to be not that much to choose from in the area. So I think a lot of people do wait for the perfect home to come up in this area because this area checks so many boxes for a lot of people. One home that's definitely worth highlighting that's for sale right now in this area is this bad boy. Coming in at a cool $5 million on Pacific Street here, you have one of the most luxurious houses I've seen on the Oregon coast. This is courtesy of Wendy Birchfield with Windermere West Coast Properties. But this gives you a little bit of an idea of, at the very high end, what you can get in the area. But mostly, especially right in the heart of Nye Beach, you're going to be getting little cottages, 2-3 bedroom, maybe 4-bedroom homes. And they are building a little bit. There's a couple blocks on the south side of Nye Beach where they are building some homes and some new construction. They're kind of like townhome style. So you can get a little bit of a range. There's some condos as well, but the condos aren't cheap. HOA fees aren't cheap. So there's a trade-off for everything, but there's definitely going to be kind of a range of what you can get there again, but primarily you're going to be getting these little beach cottages, which again, I think a lot of people looking for this type of community are looking for that type of property as well. So if you're thinking about moving to the Oregon coast, if the Central Oregon coast is an area that you have your eye on, and if you want to live in a true beachfront community, it really doesn't get much better than Nye Beach. And if you want to talk more about this area or other little pockets that have a similar dynamic, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video. Schedule a Zoom call with us, and we can talk about your home search, your timeline, your budget, put together a game plan for you so when the time comes, you can have success with your move to the Oregon coast. Now, if this video is helpful, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. And if you want to get more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. As always, we really appreciate you watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.